Welcome to the Back to Me podcast, where we help multicultural incoming freshman women and men manage their entire college experience throughout post-graduation to successfully transition into entrepreneurship and corporate workspaces as new hires.
Back to me. Oh, I turned it around. I'm back to me. I finally figured it out. I'm back to me. So when you think you have nothing, back to me. I go back to me. Yeah, I'm back to me.
Hello, everyone. It's your host, Yoli Tamu. Whether it's your first or your last, finding your community on campus is an important part of helping you stay engaged and motivated while you pursue both your academic and your professional goals. In this week's episode, we are joined by Dr. T. Gage, counseling coordinator for Umoja-UBAKA at Laney College in Oakland, California. Dr. Gage shares how intentional guidance and a My Brother's Keeper mindset can help students not only enroll in college, but truly thrive there. So find out how she models time management and accountability while helping create a space for students ages 16 to 83, where every student's lived experience is valued and everyone is treated with dignity. Enjoy. School is back in session. We are making our way back. And I met this young woman, amazing person, through a meeting, and we had a good Zoom meeting with some of her students. And they got to ask me some questions, and we talked a lot about just what students are looking for. And so I wanted to have a deeper conversation about that, because this is a powerful woman helping these students in Oakland, California. She is Dr. T. Gage, and she's the counseling coordinator for Umoja-UBAKA program at Laney College in Oakland, California. How you doing, Dr. Gage?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. We are back. You ready for the year?
We're getting there. We're
getting there. Slowly but surely. We're trying to make it happen. Yes, yes. Okay. So on this podcast, we love to just prepare our students for what they're getting ready to enter. You know, a lot of them are navigating just anxiety and attending college for the first time. And even some of them are heading out as post-grads, heading into the workforce. So transition is key for all of our listeners. And so when we have amazing people like yourself that are leading students, we love to find out who you are at your core. Like, what motivated you to even pursue this direction and serve higher ed?
Absolutely. I think my motivation came from my own educational journey. When I went to college, I was automatically classified first generation low income. Growing up, I was homeschooled. I went to charter school. I went through almost every educational platform that you could think of. And then when my high school shut down 2 weeks before my junior year, I was over. I had to choose another school. I chose a school that was very popular by name in San Francisco, known for their academic rigor. And it was one of the less entertaining times of my life. So when I went to college, I chose to go do something different. I went to Mills College here in Oakland. It was all women's college at the time. First in my family to graduate. So I got my bachelor's for myself. Then as I got further into education and specified what I wanted to do more, I was like, I got to go back. I got to go back and get a master's. Like, it doesn't just stop because I'm the first. So I got my master's for myself in counseling from San Jose State University, where I had a ball. I enjoyed learning. And then I realized there was so much more for me to do. So after working in a couple of schools and whatnot, I went and got my doctorate degree from Aspen University. And I always said I did college for my family, for all those who hadn't been able to do it. I did my master's for me, but I did my doctorate for my legacy, for my children. And thank God they were there to see me graduate.
That's wonderful. I love that. You know, you did it for legacy. I love that. I love that. So you are at Laney College and you're leading the Umoja program. Now tell us about Umoja. Are these students that are coming together for a unique purpose? They have a unique experience? What is Umoja?
Umoja is a statewide community program, and specifically here at Laney, our students are interested in learning from an African pedagogical approach. So they're interested in learning the history, the real history of how the herb developed and what Africans did to contribute to society, as well as the development, the transition and the evolution of being Black in America, being Black in California, being Black in Oakland, and how that connects to the roots and what that means. So we offer dedicated tutoring. Our tutors are embedded in the classes that we offer. They get additional support. Of course, we go to college tours throughout California, HBCUs, East Coast. Wherever we can, we're looking for opportunities to expose students who may be overlooked in other situations or other circumstances. And we are letting them know, like, hey, we got you. Not all of our students identify as Black, but they want to understand the culture. And we make it very clear the distinction between understanding, assimilating, and perpetrating. My students range from 16 to 83.
Wow.
So we a lot of shared knowledge, storytelling. And at the end of the day, we're just a community here to support each other, making sure that we all reach our goals in whatever those goals are. And we have such a vast variety of students. Everybody's goals is different. So we are here to help, uplift, and support, and be able to do so while teaching history, teaching facts, and making sure people understand our plight.
Amazing. I never even thought about that. At community colleges, they can range from 18 to 83. What?
Yep.
Amazing.
We even have some high school students who are dually enrolled.
My goodness. And you said 16, right? As young as 16.
My youngest student is 16.
That's amazing. I mean, there's so much knowledge in knowing that those people are with each other, learning from each other.
Right.
Life experience is happening in that room at all times.
Absolutely. And we treat them all the same. No matter how old they are, we want to know what's going on, how you doing, and how we can help you do better.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're a part of the California Community College system. So I've heard of the HBCU Transfer Initiative. Are you guys a part of that? I think it's a guaranteed initiative, I think.
Yep, we are a part of the initiative. We host the HBCU Caravan when they come out towards this side. We are a location for which our students can go to the expo, as well as we have different agreements with the HBCUs as to what can guarantee our students admissions.
That's great. And see, that's a great thing that California Community College is doing that, that initiative even exists.
Yes.
They understand the importance. Fantastic. Okay, so now in these group experiences of lived experience, that's just blowing my mind. 83. It's blowing my mind.
Very active.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so now what are some of the conversations that are on top of mind of some of these students? Now, you and I talked before about time management, which is a concern for a lot of people, but how are you preparing these students of all these diverse levels and ages for this new school year?
Absolutely. Depending on the student, the tactics may change, but I think ultimately our job is, or my job specifically, is to encourage them, to motivate them, and make sure that they're ready. And that's through providing orientations. At my orientations, I'm letting you know what my full semester calendar looks like. So you have no excuse as to why you didn't know something. I'm encouraging you to make sure that the decisions that you're making in terms of how many classes you're taking versus how heavy your workload is, make sure that there is balance, and making sure that as the semester goes on, that students aren't coming to us just because they need us. If you come visit me as a counselor regularly, we can try and mitigate some of the things that a lot of these students go to, being burnt out, being exhausted, being anxious, and then having to choose. Well, I got to work at the time that this class is, but you knew in August what time your class schedule was. So how come you didn't rearrange your work schedule, or which one matters most in having to evaluate our priorities? I set an example as to how I plan my schedule for the semester in hopes that it rubs off and reflects on other students. And then because we do have such a vast age range, students encourage each other. I can serve as supplemental support or advocate for whatever is happening on campus, just so that students understand, like, you're not in this alone. Your problem is our problem. So let's work through it together. And if we can't, then we just need to take time to reflect and sit back and say, is this really the right time? Is this really what I want? We explore some hard truths over here, some very hard.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk about time management, it's all about discipline. And I'm hearing you say you have to start instilling and teaching discipline. So for example, do you set up your schedule where it allows for like 2-hour blocks of work and then rest? Or, what does it look like? Give us an idea.
my work schedule and my open office hours are very different. So students may see that the center that Umoja is in is open from 9:30 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. I start at 8. I'm giving myself that morning to settle into work, check emails the night before, look through and see if there's anything urgent coming up, or even allowing time for that crazy Dr. T, I need you text message to come through. And then throughout the day, it's all about the students, whatever they need in time, whether it's an appointment, whether it's impromptu. And then as the day ends, if it ends, it's just time to reflect and get ready for the next day to do it all over again. Luckily, I don't take nothing home with me. It is left in the office because I do have boundaries, and that is part of time management, but also I'm accessible to students to where they know what and when I will and will not answer. I tell them all the time, your emergency or your procrastination doesn't constitute an emergency on my part. And they've grown to know that. So they'll walk in and be like, Dr. T, I know this is last minute, but, and I'll hear them out, but they already know. I don't do last minute. So my day flexes depending on who I'm working with, but I always try to set out time at the beginning of my day to get ready.
So now how would that translate to a student? So I hear you saying that 8 o'clock, you're preparing, you're already ahead of the game. So do you encourage that for a student if they have a class that they are well fed? I mean, what is some of that conversation like? Like, how are you preparing a student to go and work their schedule?
We plan backwards. Let's figure out what time you got to be in class. How long does it take you to get there? How long does it take you to get ready? What time do you need to wake up? If they don't have breakfast, we offer them breakfast at our center, mapping it out realistically. What if you miss the bus? What if, there's construction on the freeway and causes you to do a detour, and what that looks like? And then in the event that they don't get to class, what are the appropriate next steps in terms of communicating your schedule change, or if anything happens to where you're not going to make it on time? Normally, I would do a one-on-one with students in our counselor sessions just because everybody's case is different. But we do offer time management workshops. And then where necessary, we will do it as a group. Like, hey, y'all are friends. Y'all call each other for whatever just popped up on social media. Call your people and let them know they need to be in class on time and ready. And I stress and ready because there's a difference between showing up, not ready. Just because you're there on time does not mean that you are being a fully present student.
I like that. You work backwards and you anticipate what may happen. That's great. So when we think about these students and coming to college in the first place, because, many students are trying to figure out, do I even need college? Let me just maybe go get a vocational certificate. Let me do something else. Something is motivating them to come. Would you say it's your programming, their own personal desires to please their families and build legacies? What are those conversations like that motivate them?
I definitely think it starts with some type of internal motivation. And I say that because even if somebody is encouraging you, you still have to have the willpower to get there. In terms of what I hear often is people want to make money and people need education to make money. I understand it's not for everybody, but what people forget is you are a student every single day, regardless of how old you are, regardless of what you're doing. You're learning, you're accumulating information, you're giving out information and regurgitating what you've learned or what you've heard. So while some people might not prefer the classroom structure, it will get you the piece of paper that says you have gone through the appropriate steps to learn the necessary knowledge to get further in your career. But I also emphasize that for anybody, anything is educational. We are learning every day. We're constantly being students in our own worlds. I just encourage them, go through the official process so that you have documentation that'll get you paid for it. Because there's not too many people out here doing it for free.
Right. That is so true to say. No matter where you are going to be learning. You will be trained in some capacity.
Yeah. When you ask the question, you get an answer. That's learning.
Fantastic. So now when you are having these conversations, and I know money is a definite motivator, but passions, you have a passion for young people, clearly, and for older people, as we're finding. Okay, 83. So where does that come from? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you got to pour this in to people for them to start tapping in and finding it for themselves. So where does your passion come from?
My own passion comes from helping and being able to listen to that voice. I'm a very spiritual person, so I believe that once I am filled, I should pour into others. My family motivates me because I want them to be better than what I am, what I grew up with. I want them to have options. You know, we hear the term the sky is the limit, but not too many people know how to get to the sky. I want to help people get to the sky. And I feel like because I'm floating on cloud nine, as they say, I want to lift as I climb to make it easier. My motivation comes from what the future will look like.
Especially for your children, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So if for a freshman student that's listening, what would be the first step to living in the sky, to taking that next step, to seeing that possibility? What would be the first step?
Making sure that they make informed decisions for themselves. And that's from even choosing what college to go to. Oftentimes, a lot of students go where they can afford. There's money out there. We hear it all the time. There are people who are letting money go because we're not applying to scholarships and things like that. And that brings me to choosing the best fit college versus somebody else went here, or I heard about this, or I seen this college on TV. Choose what's best for you. And if that's a community college, by all means, come on down. But if that is a 4-year college that's on the other side of the country, but it has everything you want in a school, do it. And I stress the informed part because sometimes we make haste and impromptu decisions without thinking it out. So I highly encourage any freshman thinking about higher ed. Yes, it's amazing, but it is better when you can enjoy it. And the only way you can enjoy it is to do your research to know what college has to offer so that you're not wasting time, you're not wasting money, but instead you're getting the money. And the money is coming to you.
I like you said, identify the best fit. So that means they need to be on these tours, possibly.
Yes.
Or speaking to a counseling center if they can't maybe go on tour. What do you suggest if they can't go on tour? How do they identify the best fit?
So this is going to sound so crazy. I wouldn't encourage a student to speak to a counselor. I would encourage a student to speak to a student. Get the real from someone who's in the trenches. It would be ideal if you could talk to someone at your ideal school who came from your high school or who came from the city that you're located in to get a sense of like the differences, the pros and cons, and weigh your checks and balances and things like that. But if you can't go on college tours, a lot of colleges do the virtual tours or the 3D tours online. I would call up the college and say, hey, what big events are coming up? That way you can get an aspect of their social life. Also, social media, look at the school's posting. Do they look like you? And like I said, where you can, talk to a student or visit school outside of their scheduled tours because scheduled tours are scripted. And in order to get the raw data, you want to be able to just show up and feel comfortable, feel valued.
That's really good. The real life experience, real encounters. So that means they might need to talk to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 students.
Yeah, many as they can. Start the research early. You don't have junior. I know people who are in middle school and they think they know what college they want to go to, and they're doing that work to see if the college is for them. Because it's a two-way relationship, right? Like you might be the student pouring and giving your money to the school, but at the same time, the school has to pour something into you. They have to be proud to call you their alumna,
right,
or alumni.
So now with the Umoja program, you talked about culture and understanding, self in the country, in the state of California. I mean, in the city. I mean, that's really, really detailed. So how do they maintain a personal voice? Are you guys constantly doing activities that promote personal value? How do we keep this pride in self alive?
Absolutely. From the moment we greet each other. Hey, my brother. Hey, my sister. Always making sure that we are being motivational speakers for each other, encouraging each other, staying closely connected. One of our state practices is I am my brother's or sister's keeper. And we have a family like community. So, in the same way that you're checking on your siblings, your parents, and so forth, we're checking on our students too. They're checking on each other. And I think that's where most of the motivation comes from. Again, I am a figure here who is helping them navigate, but they are the community. They form the bonds, they build and lift each other up. And I emphasize it, I highlight it, magnify it. I do everything that I can in my power to make sure that everyone feels that same support, motivation, and anything else that they may need in that moment.
So do you find that this is a place where they just feel safe and motivated and excited to be?
Oh, they definitely feel safe. They're here all the time.
Yes.
I have to keep them out. And yeah, we practice our call and responses to motivate each other. To some, it might be jokingly, but we use movie quotes to motivate and make sure that we are all staying connected. This is definitely a space that they have claimed, they have cultivated as their own. And at any point when someone does not feel like they're being supported or motivated, then that's when conversations come in, because it's bigger than just the individual.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And do you have guest speakers come in and maybe fill into their souls, I guess?
Oh, yes. Umoja has workshops at least twice a month. Laney College Umoja is actually celebrating their 20th year in service on campus in 2027. So we will be encouraging everybody to come. We are introducing capoeira, the martial arts dance. We want to make sure that students understand that there are people who look like them that are successful, and we want to see how we can build those networks and bridges so that no one feels left behind.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And I mean, it sounds like a family is forming with all these different age ranges there. I mean, if you didn't have an auntie, you have one there, or an uncle.
Or two.
Right.
Yes.
Or a grandma.
Yes. I actually have a work daughter, a work uncle. My colleagues are my work sisters. And like I said, oftentimes we are referring to each other as brother and sister.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love that. Umoja. And that's on most campuses in the community college realm, yes?
Correct.
Fantastic. Okay, so now these final words of encouragement. We always think about the students as they're preparing for the school year, and we want to just help them stay focused on just finding their voices and their unique abilities to be successful by surrounding themselves with all these examples that you're laying out. You know, what are some encouraging words for that listener, especially during these times? You know, we're going through a lot right now, watching so many lives lost and just changes of government, all kinds of things are happening. So how do we keep their voices strong and their sense of self unique?
I would encourage students to remain and continue to be their true and authentic self, because if they won't, who will? No one is in this alone, and the fight continues. Before, during, and after us, the fight continues. So I highly encourage everyone to just get to know themselves and what they're here for. Find your purpose and live it. Live it loud and unapologetically.
Mm-hmm. And recognize it's a journey. It keeps going. We're going to be all right. Look, in the words of Kendrick Lamar.
We're going to be all right. That's right.
So thank you for your time. So now if they want to reach out to you and learn more about Umoja and your program, where should we send them?
Absolutely. I can be reached via email tgage at Peralta, PERALTA.edu. You can also look me up on the Laney College Umoja website. I am probably one of very few people who is not extremely active on social media, but if you connect with me via email or via our website, I'll even share my phone number, 510-985-9058. I am not hard to get a hold of. I'm very responsive, and I welcome all questions, comments, anything.
Love it. Thank you. And for those that are looking her up, maybe on Google, it is Dr. T. Gage. That is her first name, Dr. T. Gage.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate you. And let's do our best to make this year a successful one. How about that?
We halfway through it.
We halfway through it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So as you begin to organize your schedule, make room for community. You'll be so glad you did. For more information about other episodes, remember to subscribe to the Back to Me podcast, College and Beyond. I'm your host, Yoli Tamu. Leave a review at the end of this podcast, and if you are a student leader, meeting planner, or higher ed administrator, be sure to grab your free copy of our new Student Thriving Playbook at thebacktomepodcast.com. You can also join our community on our YouTube channel at the Back to Me podcast, or simply text Back to Me to 833-206-4565. Until next time, be well.